time has come. As you might know, we purchased this 26-foot Raging X toy hauler about 3 or 4 months ago, and it's got a basic sound system in it. I mean, it's a really nice toy hauler, but it's got a really basic sound, as you can see right here. It's got, you know, like a little something going on. Well, you know how I do it. We're gonna have to like upgrade this thing, make it way better. This isn't gonna be a party bus on wheels or anything like that, but we're gonna make it much better. You know, we gotta save weight. This thing's already about 10,000 pounds by the time I start pulling it down the highway, so saving weight is a big deal for me. But we're gonna make it sound much better. We're gonna make it sound much cleaner. Overall, it's just gonna be a fun little install. Let's go ahead and start this whole build, everything that I'm gonna do, with a battery upgrade. First of all, this thing came with just the most basic stock thing you could ever imagine, which is fine, but that ain't how we do it. So let's go out there and take a look. Alright, so as you can see, extremely basic. Terminals don't appear to be crimped with any kind of care. They'll probably work, but they're pretty ugly. I don't know what the black tape is for on this one. We'll pull that apart and see what they're hiding. It's probably no big deal. We got a little breaker right here, but I think I've got enough room on this rack to do at least a couple of batteries. I've got 3 XS Power XP3000s that I took off my old test bench. They're freed up, so I'm gonna see if those fit. If not, I'm gonna have to try something else. I better move these propane tanks, give myself a little bit more room to work. Just gonna have to modify it a little bit because the new batteries aren't as fat, but they're longer. A little bracket there ready to go. God, just installing 2 batteries, this is like way more complicated than I was hoping it would be. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, these are all mounted in place, everything's looking good. Time to wire them up together. And then clean up some of this factory wiring, make it look good. All right, there's theirs. Of course, these are mine. Pretty soon this is all going to be super nice. Alright, now there's one last thing that I want to do before I call this mission done. And I'm going to run some Anderson connectors from the battery bank a few feet out past the tongue so I can connect it up to my F-150. Now the reason I'm going to use these is because that toy hauler is going to have a sound system in it. It's not going to be anything way over the top and crazy, but it might be 1,000 watts. So using these will allow me to connect directly up to the F-150 and use the alternator to run the system rather than the power inverter or whatever this thing has. It's got a generator and a power inverter, but I have no idea how much power it even puts out. I'd rather use a 270 amp alternator from the F-150 all the way through the vehicle connected up to the battery bank than use that power supply or whatever is in there. So this will make it an easy, quick disconnect and be able to use it just like that. Should be pretty nice. Not only that, but the F-150 will be able to charge that battery bank really well through these, as opposed to the little plug that goes right into the back of the vehicle. That thing doesn't hardly charge for crap. So this is going to be real nice. It's essentially going to be a really long run from the alternator all the way back to these back two batteries. I want to run 1/0. 4 gauge seems a little bit small, especially if I start pulling on it with, 1,000 watts of amplifier power. The only thing that kind of sucks is I don't have anything that matches. I've got blue 1/0, so we're going to go ahead and use that. Should still look pretty good on there. Can't have everything be totally matching at all times. Alright, one last look before I call this part of the project complete. This, of course, is going to plug into the back of the F-150 after I run some wire over to the alternator. Brand new wires on the factory breaker. Brand new terminals on all the factory wires. And of course, sky high and excess power wire on everything else. Believe me, I know I got a lot more to do before this thing's even halfway cool, but batteries and power upgrades is always the first place I start. So thanks for checking in and watch for video 2. See what I do next.